Welcome back to Cryptos for Us. I'm George. We're all George. So today, let's talk about the Bitcoin bullishness and how it's intensifying. What does that mean exactly? Well, I'm going to show you guys why it's intensifying and why what follows next are massive gains. So let's do this. Welcome, guys. Hopefully you're having a good Friday morning. Right now, Bitcoin and entire market kind of flat. We have some movers. We definitely have some movers. You'll take a look. We got a lot of green. Chainlink is still hot. I covered Chainlink and Pyth last night. You got Cardano in the green, Avalanche in the green, Solana in the green, Bitcoin in the green. So you got a slow and steady movement right now. As for the U.S. economy, just real quick, U.S. economy added 353,000 jobs in January. Much better than expected. The numbers, I feel like, are going to get better and better and better this year, whether or not they're real. I think it's just, again, I've mentioned this as a big catalyst. A lot of people don't seem to believe it or care. But during election year, you know, markets get hot, really hot. And some of it could be coincidence, some of it could be orchestrated, but we're getting a lot of good numbers in the U.S. A lot of really good numbers shows that the economy is going to heat up. And when the rate cuts come, they will really, really heat up. That's when the intensity really hits. But saw that this morning, so that's overall pretty good. As for Bitcoin, we are now in this 5K range, okay, between here and here, for 150 days, basically close to half of the year. Now, this makes it very boring for some, especially traders, the ones that want to see Bitcoin either skyrocket or dump, right? Because there are some shorters. Traders want to trade, and this makes it very aggravating for traders. But what this means is, yes, Bitcoin is consolidated. It has been consolidating for quite some time. And that's why the intensity, it's like it's in a pressure chamber. The intensity is going to build, especially with the supply shock that's already happening, right? So this is actually a really good thing. If we see Bitcoin start going volatile up and down, left and right every single week, well, that's actually not what we want. We want slow and steady growth. But right now we're in that consolidation period where it seems like it's a little boring. Bitcoin's going sideways. The market seems to be following it. But when it's ready, when we break out of this 5K range, that's when we go up to the next level, to the next leg up, right? So just thought I'd comment on that. As for the supply shock, as for the intensity, well, look at this from yesterday. First time since the ETFs debuted that BlackRock's volume was higher than Grayscale. Grayscale's finally going down. Grayscale was leading by a large amount in terms of volume. And the net flow, right? The net flow, you could see still in the positive. Yesterday slowed down overall. Still net positive, but Grayscale selling is starting to go down and down and down and down. So it'll be interesting to see what it is today. But BlackRock pretty much picked up everything. Fidelity and others took a little breather yesterday. But overall net flow, another $40 million worth of Bitcoin went into the funds. Okay, they keep on going. They just don't stop. I already covered 3.3% of Bitcoin circulating supply are already in the funds. Think about it. That's just after 2 weeks. Pretty soon, 10% of supply will be in the funds. And then shortly after that, 20% will be in the funds, right? So even though Bitcoin is consolidating within that 5K range, these guys are going to make it very hard for Bitcoin to do that because they keep on buying. That's why when we break out and we get to the next leg, it's going to be intense. That's why I do feel like the supply shock factor is building, and it's going to keep on building. I don't think it's ever going to stop, and it's going to intensify even more when we have the halving event, because there will be less Bitcoin being released in the market. But these guys continue to buy and buy and buy and buy. And when I say these guys, I'm talking about institutions, right? So some people are confused. They're like, well, you say BlackRock is buying, but it's really people that are buying BlackRock shares. Yes, that's true. But it just shows overall, whoever's buying, institutions, big corporations, big whales, the Wall Street giants, they are all buying. And there's no doubt in my mind that BlackRock and Fidelity, who own tons of shares into Coinbase, MicroStrategy, Bitcoin miners, they own a lot of it already. They themselves have secret wallets that hold enormous amount of Bitcoin. That I have no doubt in my mind that they have that too. So this is still looking good and still moving forward. This is an interesting fact that Bitcoin and Fidelity have basically enabled the buying of 9,000 Bitcoins a day. 9,000, if you do the math, that's a lot, okay, to be buying 9,000 a day. If that happens every single day, that's actually 10 times more than what the miners mine per day, which is 900. And that 900 will be cut to 450 after April, after the halving event. So think about it. Again, relating to the supply shock, soon, just the 2 ETFs out there will allow 20x more buying than what is being released per day. That's how scarce Bitcoin has become. You can't just keep generating more Bitcoin. People have this misconception, like fiat, like the Federal Reserve, you could just press more buttons and there'll be more money to dish out, right? That's just not how it works with Bitcoin. Even though, yes, you can buy Bitcoin pretty easily now on Coinbase or Robinhood or wherever, the circulating supply is being eaten up very, very quickly behind the scenes. So just think about that for a second. The supply shock is building. Here's another really interesting fact. Not good for gold bugs. You could see that gold ETFs, right, have been coming down for a while now. But that down factor seems to be intensifying, right? And then you can see the Bitcoin funds going up. Now, Bitcoin funds, this is including some others from around the world and ETPs from around the world and so forth. But you could see ever since the debut, they've been going sideways. And then all of a sudden, recently, it's like, boom, skyrocketing, right? But the gold ETFs continue to go down. So this also shows a lot of investors that have held gold for a while, for years, maybe decades. They're like, nah, we're going to switch out. We're going to put it into something that actually moves. Bitcoin. So that's also very positive. Very positive stuff. All right. And as for global asset value, sometimes I throw out these very large numbers from fund managers and from analysts. It's not like I'm picking it out of thin air and people blame me for it. Like just a few days ago, I said Bitcoin could go to 650,000. That's straight from Cathie Wood's mouth. And then people lash out at me like, oh, you're giving people false hope. I'm just reporting what others feel, okay, how they're speculating. And I agree with them. And here's the reason why. Because if you look at how much money is out there in the world versus how much money is in Bitcoin, you'll soon realize that just a small fraction, a very small fraction of the global asset value coming into Bitcoin will send it up to $1 million each in short order. Okay, Bitcoin is often compared to gold at 12 trillion. Bitcoin needs to hit about 700,000 each to equal 12 trillion in market cap. So that's stage one. But look at everything else. The art, I didn't even know art was worth this much. Art in total is worth 18 trillion. I guess there are a couple pieces that are considered priceless, so I don't even know how you measure that. You got cars, collectibles at 6 trillion, which is already 10 times bigger than Bitcoin. You got global equities, obviously, with all the stocks and so forth, right? You got real estate market, tons of people in real estate. You got global debt and global broad money, like everything else that's out there. $900 trillion worth of money. $900 trillion worth of money out there, and Bitcoin isn't even at 1 trillion yet. So just a sliver of that, just 1% of that would be $9 trillion. That would push Bitcoin close to $600,000 already, if you think about it, right? That's just how much money there is. And that shows how early it still is in Bitcoin. That's why when the supply shock factor really comes into play, it'll be next to impossible for any retail investor to buy. Because when Bitcoin is at 600,000, even to get 0.1 Bitcoin at that point will cost you $60,000. To buy 0.01 Bitcoin will cost you $6,000, right? I mean, that just shows you how early it still is, right? You could buy a full Bitcoin for $42,000. You could buy 0.1 Bitcoin for $4,000. But in the future, it's going to be 10x, 20x higher. So, yeah, just really amazing. Really amazing to think about. A couple other things about Bitcoin. Realized cap drawdown. Okay, basically this is what this is showing is our recovery rate right now is a little bit slower than the previous times from bottom, which is actually surprising because I feel like we're going faster. We're recovering faster this cycle than before. But according to this, we're actually recovering a little bit slower. And the reason is due to GBTC. Hey, 5 gifted memberships. Thank you. But that's really interesting. That's really interesting. So Glassnode is making an argument that once the GBTC arbitrage or the selling from GBTC stops, then we'll actually see this recover much faster, right? And I kind of agree, because when you have one entity like Grayscale and the people that are holding Grayscale shares are selling like $200, $300 million of the Bitcoin every day, of course, that's going to slow down the recovery process, right? But that selling is slowing down. So we're waiting for that to go to zero. Eventually, I think Grayscale, I think they already know this too. They really can't compete with BlackRock and Fidelity and ARK in terms of ETF. That's why they made their fees so high. Their 1.5% fees is not helping them. Everyone else is 0.2%. So they're basically trying to slow down the selling, but they're not attracting new buyers either. So I don't know what their long-term strategy is, but I just know that the selling will stop eventually, and then the recovery is going to intensify. The key word of this stream is intensity and intensify, if you haven't picked it up. All right. So next stop, we have hit the 61.8% Fibonacci level, previously around 49,000. We hit it slightly, came back down. We're not too far off from it, right? But that is the point when the parabolic bull starts. So it happened in 2017. That's when Bitcoin didn't stop. It went from basically $500, $600 all the way up to 20,000. This time around, we're going to go from 49,000 straight up to 49 million. No, I'm just kidding. It'll go straight up to whatever it may end up being at, 150, 200, 250,000, right? We need to get back up there, but we're right on track. In fact, I really think we're ahead of the schedule. It's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time. We're breaking out of this 5K range, and then we're going to get that next leg up, and then things are going to get crazy. I really think that's just around the corner. The halving event is 3 months away, less than 3 months away. That could be the start, right? And if you look at where we are right now, again, versus 2 previous cycles in this weird looking graph chart, Basically what this is showing is the moon. The moon shot is coming. That's what this is showing, but very similar. Very similar in nature. And last thing I'll show you about Bitcoin is this. Where we are, that's where we are. Again, we're like mid-cycle. If you're counting the crypto winter and where we are, we're like right in the middle, right? Because of the halving event. And then afterwards, we have a year and a half of parabolic growth. Think about it. After the halving event, we have a year and a half of parabolic growth. And it's the same as previous cycles. It's going to be good. It's going to be good, guys. All right. Outside of Bitcoin, what else is good? There's not much news this morning. Solana's price is down, but network activity is up. Up. That's why I'm so bullish on Solana. And yesterday I was watching some videos on TikTok. There are a lot of people that agree with me now that Solana will probably surpass Ethereum in market cap this year. I believe I'm the first one to say it. People don't believe it. But, man, the way you measure Solana right now, it's just everything is sky high. And so many things are even above Ethereum at this point. It's just kind of crazy. DeFi TVL is 18 months high, okay, closing in at 1.8 billion. Of course, this is not close to Ethereum yet, but it is going up in a big way and very, very quickly. And keep in mind, Solana is not back to the previous high yet. They're still nowhere close, yet their TVL is getting close to there, right? And if you're looking at DEX volume for the last 24 hours, guess what? They're number one above Ethereum. Jupiter also, a lot of talk about Jupiter. Jupiter is actually having a good day, recovering. Jupiter's volume is above Uniswap's, and Uniswap's founder is not liking that. And speaking of Jupiter, Look On Chain was looking at all the transactions, and they found 3, not just 1, but 3 people that made over $1 million just from their airdrops. That's a lot. That's a lot. But between the 3, it seems like they received the airdrop through 27,600 wallets. So they must be using some bot or something. So that's a lot. That's like 8,000 wallets they transacted with over the year. Man, that's a lot. But it worked. That hard work paid off. They made $1 million each. Over $1 million. Who knows? They could have made a couple million. That's just crazy. What else is going on in Solana? Bonk. I didn't know this, but Bonk has a DAO. I guess they formed a DAO. That DAO controls close to $125 million of Bonk, which is crazy if you think about it. That must be one of the biggest DAOs already in the space. I don't think there's that many DAOs that hold over $100 million. But they're dedicating $500,000 into Solana-based startups, mostly meme startups. So, you know how like Avalanche, they have their own initiative. Their foundation is go buy meme coins. This will be brilliant that Solana themselves don't even have to do it. But if Bonk, because they have so much money, their DAO starts investing in new Solana-based meme coins, it's like, what do you call it? Perpetual cycle or perpetual motion. What do you call it? Like something that doesn't ever stop then, right? Like if that's the case and this DAO puts in money into new memes and the new memes get bigger and then they also put money into new memes and so forth, it's going to be nuts. It's going to be nuts right now or soon. But that's really interesting. That's really interesting. And of course, Pyth also, they're surging too. They're getting a Binance listing, but they're also Solana based, so that's awesome. So, I mean, anything with Solana right now is doing really good. So that's just the bottom line. All right, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. Let's do some Q&A. Mike Lowry. Yeah, that was my twin brother on Drivers Only. No, I'm just kidding. That's me. I have 2 channels. You can see it in my description. I run Drivers Only and Cryptos Are Us and a few other Cryptos Are Us Plus, Cryptos Are Us clips. But yeah, I haven't been doing much on the car channel. But that car channel got me through some dark times in between 2018 and 2021. But then, you know, COVID hit and cars didn't get as popular anymore. Car videos, I should say. So I have not been concentrating as much on it. All right, let me scroll through here. I've started something. Half the comments are about cock in you, the coin. It's funny. It's good. Good on a Friday. Stargate, SG1, and Atlantis were awesome shows. SG1 was the OG show. Atlantis was good, not as good as SG1. And Universe started out too slow. I really wish they started a new Stargate show. The premise is really good. I should ask the team if I can make I Am George NFT that involves cock. That would be a good one. I'm going to ask them today. Splashing and smashing. Are you looking into any gambling coins? No. No, I'm not. Too much regulatory uncertainty. So, no. Your review on a 5th generation Forerunner is great. Thank you. I reviewed so many Forerunners over the years. They're pretty much all the same, but they're dependable as hell. Josh, you gotta watch Picard season 3. Don't watch season 2 and season 1 and 2. Picard season. Well, if you're a Next Generation fan, then you'll like it. If you're not, then it's gonna suck regardless. But season 3 of Picard is just a pick off of the last episode of the Next Generation. Season 3 of Picard, in my opinion, is one of the best shows. One of the best seasons of any show. It's really good. Well, again, that's assuming you're a Next Generation fan. If you're not, then it's not gonna be anything special. Virgil. Someone asked a good question. What would a used car be worth buying? Well, I mean, if you don't need a car, just don't buy a car, right? Like, that's number one. If you don't really need it. Most cars are wants, not needs. You could get away with, I don't know, a nice little Corolla. And, you know, if that's all you care about is just getting from point A to point B. But with that out of the way, if you do need something bigger, more utility, obviously SUVs are a way to go, especially if you live in colder climates. With snow, you definitely have to have all-wheel drive or four-wheel drive. I don't know. All cars depreciate. A lot of Toyota trucks depreciate least. Jeeps, Wranglers, even though they're not the best cars, they depreciate very little because so many people want them. Yeah, I don't know. For me, like if I wanted to get a decent car that wouldn't depreciate that much, that will last forever, it would be something Toyota, like a Forerunner or a Tacoma, but Tacomas are too small, so I'd probably get a Tundra. Like a Tundra or 4Runner or Lexus, like, you know, a GX or even an LX. You know, they're like the Toyota trucks are really good. They last forever. But, you know, when it comes to like the cars, you know, from Toyota, not the crossovers, the cars, they're as dependable as everyone else. But like the trucks are the bread and butter. But then, you know, the thing is, the new generations all use the new hybrid motors, which are unproven at this point. New transmissions, again, non-proven. And then as for the new looks, you know, it's subjective. Bison, happy Friday. I've been around for a month. I look forward to every stream. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. Salamando. Buying a 1-year-old used EV, not Tesla Rivian, is a deal if you could adjust to the charging station. What other EVs are you talking about? I tested all of them, and they're all kind of horrible. I tested the Kia ones, the Hyundai ones, Mercedes ones. I mean, okay, they're not horrible. They're not horrible, but Mercedes, especially Mercedes, the EQs from Mercedes are awesome. I tested the Audis, you know, like I tested all of them. They're not bad, but the range kind of sucks, you know? The range sucks and they're smaller. They're not equal. So for example, like a Mercedes EQS 580, it's EQS. You're thinking it's as big as the S-Class, like the GLS or the S-Class. It's not. It's more like a mid-size SUV, right? And then the Audi, the Q-tron, they call it now like the Q8-tron or something like that. It's small. It's not a big SUV. So first of all, they're smaller. Second of all, the range they're not that great, especially if you compare it to Tesla. So I don't know. And the thing is, you're saying buy 1-year-old because they depreciate so much, because again, the market just isn't ready for EV. There's so many people that don't want EVs. That's why EV cars tank in terms of resale value. I've tested e-tron. I mean, it's good, but it's small, and the range sucks. It's like 230-mile range. They haven't upgraded it in a while. Do you think Terraport has potential? Burning Luna Classic, staking farming DEX with low market cap, listed on MEXC as the first sex, only on CoinGecko. Any thoughts? You know, I'm going to be completely honest. If it's within Luna Classic, then I'm going to say no, because I have given up on that. Even though I think Luna Classic is run by new people, they're not even supported by Terraform Labs. I don't know who's running Luna Classic these days, but if it's a DeFi project with the Luna Classic, I'm probably not going to look at it. Salamando, yeah, they are dirt cheap. I mean, I'll sell you my Model X for dirt cheap. I hate it, though. I mean, the car itself is fine, but I hate the fact that I lost half in 2 years, and I only put like 4,000 miles on it. You know, I bought my Model X Plaid with FSD for $155,000. I just tried to trade it in. I got a trade-in offer from Tesla like 2 weeks ago. They offered me $72,000. It's a 2022 with 4,000 miles on it. So I went from 155,000 down to 72,000. That's less than half. You know, that's how bad depreciation is on Teslas. Yeah. When I say it's bad. Like really bad when it comes to EV resale value. It really makes me like question if my Cybertruck down payment was a good idea, because it's non-refundable now. Anyways, I'll buy it for 500. Renting out for the weekend, you know, like if you look on Turo, so many people rent out their cars. They're like dirt cheap. I wouldn't even risk it. You could rent out a nice car for like $300 a day, right? $100,000 car or something for $300 a day. Like, I'm just thinking, is it really worth it? You're gonna have to wash the car, maintenance it, and obviously if it, you know, little things here break there, you got to take care of it, and the wear and tear, I mean, it's just not, it doesn't seem like it's worth it. Put this up. If it was you, would you swap, Teresa asks, ICP for injective? What's the price prediction for injective and render? I don't know. I wouldn't have ICP in the first place, so I can't really answer that, but I like injective. I realize injective has become stale recently. That's a good thing, because it was just too crazy in 2023. I think injective is going to do very well. I can't tell you they're already in their all-time high territory. I can't even look at previous high from 2021 because they already broke it. So, but I do think someone like injective could easily do like a 10x this cycle. No problem. Even from where it is now, 10x is no problem. Render, on the other hand, I'm still kind of neutral on them, but they have a lot of momentum too, so I think they could do a 10x as well. I think Powell will for sure cut rates. It's going to happen. It's going to be forced upon him. He has to make the market look as good as possible before the elections in November. So, yes, I think the rates cut will not be in March. I think it's just too soon. Sometime in like June or July timeframe, he's going to cut for sure. Jose, how much money do you think is life-changing wealth? Enough for you to quit your job and comfortably live for a long time. Even if you had no income at all, you could probably live like 20 years. That's without like spending extravagantly, right? Like buying Bugattis and stuff. Then obviously you go run out of money really fast. But then if you're making money, like side money, hustle, whatever, then you never have to worry about money again. That's what like life-changing wealth. Think it's time to put Myro down? I don't know. Something happened yesterday. Someone already told me that. Like someone said something and it caused a crash. I don't know what happened. But I don't know. I want to hang on to mine just to see. I think it can come back up. Unless there's something really fundamentally wrong with it. Like the founder is like, I don't know. The founder, you know, owns like 80% of the supply, or he's secretly dumping or whatever. I don't know what else could, you know, there's a vulnerability to smart contract. I don't know what else they could find, but unless I hear something really damning, I'm just going to keep it. Yeah, I think whatever Andrew Tate, if he ever comes out with a coin, he hinted at it. That thing is going to like blow up to $1 billion in like a day. Yeah, but I don't know if he wants the SEC coming after him, even though he lives in Romania. What do you think about liquid staking platforms? I don't really mess with them. If you're a big DeFi guy and you want to like liquid stake ETH or anything else, Solana, and you want to utilize it for other purposes, sure, go ahead. There's always a risk involved, obviously, but, you know, for me, I just don't really play with that. Zeph. I don't know what Zeph is. Never heard of it. Zephyr protocol. Very low market cap. I'm XC. Untraceable over collateralized stablecoin protocol. Okay. Well, when they say untraceable, that means they're in the private sector, which means I'm not going to get into it. So there's two things that people ask me about, like privacy coins and sports betting or betting in general. I don't get involved with them because due to the forces at play, all the regulators did not want, you know, unlicensed gambling and unregulated transactions or transactions they can't see. So they're going to pressure all the exchanges to delist them one after another. And that's why I stay away from them. Doesn't mean that they're going to go away. Doesn't mean that they're not going, you can't use them. But I just think, I don't know. I just think if they're getting delisted from the sexes, their chances of pumping goes down significantly. I'm 19, saving for a car. Do you think 5,000 is enough for this bull run, or should I keep adding? I'm mostly in alts, 25% in ETC and ETH. Well, I'm not a fan of ETC because they have no purpose. They don't have any future roadmap. They're not going to smart contracts. They're not becoming a stable coin. They're not being a payments. I don't know what Ethereum Classic is. They're really lost. Even Cardano's leader, Charles Hoskinson, has been he has been helping them over the years, but now he has given up. Anyways, 5,000 is more than enough. It could be 500, 5,000, 50,000, whatever you can manage. It's different for everyone. But you're in it so early. You're only 19. I can almost guarantee you this. If you continue to learn and DCA, like dollar cost average, right? You take whatever you have saved and you just keep investing. Doesn't mean that you have to invest all, just even a tiny amount. But if you do it on a schedule consistently, I guarantee you in the next 10 years, you're going to be a millionaire. It's almost guaranteed. Okay, I shouldn't say guaranteed, but almost guaranteed that you're going to be a millionaire in 10 years. That's how I truly feel. In the next 10 years, we're going to see so much money in the market. It's going to be so different. Web3 has just begun. It's going to be, we're like in an internet era before internet got hot, right? That's how I see it, Web3. So congrats for being in it at such a young age. Really good. Most people at 19 would not be investing. I have a Commodore VSS Series 2. Do you know it? No, I don't. That's before my time. GME on Solana, they're coming down. They're coming down, so... It was pumping hard, yes, but now it's coming down. Like a lot of memes. Like Myro even. I didn't even think Myro could fall 50% that quickly, but it did. So when it comes to memes, no matter how big they are, they can come down really fast. GME, I saw it. I saw it in the 20 million range. And then I saw it go up to 50, almost 60 million, right? And then it just started crashing. Now it's down to 31. When it looks like this, that's pretty much like, it's not looking good. So a lot of you guys may have aped in because you think this has anything to do with GameStop and, you're going to have Wall Street bets all on here trying to like pump it to the moon. That's just not reality. They have nothing to do with this. Just someone just created a GME coin. So just be careful. It has nothing to do with the GME movement. And I don't even know if there's a GME movement anymore. I think that's long dead years ago. Jose, I would, you know, of course, life changing money is different for everyone, but I would say, you know, there's two things. There's financial freedom and life changing wealth. And what's the difference? Financial freedom is where you could quit your job. You still have to work, but you have the option of doing what you want now, right? Like if you want to start a business, you want to do coaching, you want to go back to school or whatever, you don't really have to worry about money because you have financial freedom, right? So I would say your range, what you just listed, is more like financial freedom. It gives you a lot of options. But if you want life changing wealth, you know, I think it's going to be more than that. DQ reviews at chat, at everyone. Stop wasting money on memes. Come on. People like to have fun, okay? Why do you think gambling exists? Why do you think lotteries exist? People want to feel, they want to feel exciting, or they want to feel excitement. They want to have the opportunity to make big money on a small amount, right? That's what memes are. But memes, I think, in crypto have more utility. They're people drivers. They drive a lot of people into the space and into the chains, right? But they also give the potential to people to make a lot of money really quickly. The IFC fight with Ben next month. No, this month in 3 weeks. 3 weeks. So there's gonna be a lot more hype around it, around KC44. Hosted by Karate Combat. And they're actually doing really well. They're at 26 million. So they've been slowly gaining momentum. They've been a fighting league for many years, since 2017, but they didn't get into crypto since until like 2022 or 2023. It was like the last few years, but it's cool because you could download their app, you could download their, you know, get some free tokens, you could bet on the fighters, and you never lose. Only the winners make more, but the losers never lose. You still get it back. And you can utilize this to bet on the fighters. Like Ben, he's fighting More Light, who's the founder of Harry Potter, Obama, Sonic, Inu. I think that's how it is. And many others. Like, I'm close with Dreamer of DFK. He's fighting Phil from Suka. And, you know, Crypto Crow is fighting Moon Daddy, who is the founder of Kulo. There's a lot of guys. Shiny D is fighting Crypto Grady. No, he's fighting Eric. No, Shiny D is fighting Crypto Seth. And then Shiny D is fighting, Shiny D is fighting Crypto Seth. Crypto Grady is fighting Eric Grimace. And I think that's it. Hopefully I'm not missing someone. Oh, Adam. Adam Charles is fighting Keith Berry. That's going to be a good one, too. Homestead, everyone is questioning that. No idea. No idea how you could spend 25K a week on production. You know, that's just, you have to have an enormous amount of people that you're supporting. Like, I don't know how that's, I don't know how the numbers add up. Everyone I talked to about it, yeah, they can't add up the numbers too. Only someone like Rand probably spends that much a week because he has like 50 people on staff. Like literally he has like 50 people, probably even more now. So like him, I could see, yeah, maybe he spends that much per week, but for everyone else, no one else is close. What do I spend? Like nothing. No, I have a few people, but you know, and they help out with a lot. But I run a really tight ship. Everyone is really efficient. They wear many hats. They do a lot of things. So I don't have nearly as many people as some of the other bigger channels. They have enormous amount of overhead with you know, their space and all the technical people that they have and all the people that create their thumbnails and all the people that create their storylines and everything else. And you know, for me and my team, very little. Don't fix what's not broken, right? I've always said that. I could add people, but do they really make my videos better, or will they really attract more views? It's questionable, right? If I can't see the ROI, then there's no point in doing it. Crypto hit list, appreciate that. Pavel, stop. I'm putting you in timeout. Sui, I like Sui. I like Sui. I like Sui and Say. I mean, they're new. They're very new, but Sui has a ton of TVL. They are growing really fast with TVL. Sophia Verse, I'm not so sure. They're part of Singularity. So they're in the AI space, but Sophia seems to be a little outdated now versus like even Tesla's bot, Optimus bot, and there's another bot that was released a few years ago. They seem more advanced. How do you guys make those YouTube thumbnails? I just use Photoshop. It shocks people to know that I just spend like 10 minutes ahead of every stream to make my own thumbnails. They work. They're not the most fanciest. Obviously, if you look at other channels, they have dedicated thumbnail people to like make those thumbnails like hours ahead or whatever. And they're very costly. Again, whether they really work, I don't know, but I use Photoshop. I don't know what everyone else uses. Crypto hit. I just checked out Zeta. I don't really have any thoughts on it. It's like, isn't it in a privacy space? I just checked it. Oh no, I checked it last night. Yeah. When something pumps 100% a day, don't ask me about it. It's most likely it's going to come down, which it has already since last night. My major in college was thumbnailing. I don't think that's a real major. I don't think that's a real major. Oh, wow. Chainlink just broke up again. From a TA perspective, I thought it would take a breather at 18 and come down a little bit, but no, it's going up. Next level is about 19, and then after that, it's like 27 or 28. Chainlink is just... They're really... Best to think about Chainlink, they're like an L1 now. They're not even just the Oracle. They're a giant L1. So... Chainlink is looks very good. Looks very good indeed. Marshmallow, I do marketing and graphic design for a large distribution company in Australia. I use Illustrator. I never got into Illustrator. I should. If you think it's easier to do it in Illustrator, I should think about it. You know what I'm looking for? If any guys want like an internship or maybe even a paid internship, I'm looking for a guy that could come up with a lot of creative ideas. Okay. And what do I mean by that? Like, I need someone with out of the box thinking vision, which is very hard in terms of utilizing, you know, out of the box ideas to create more videos, right? And I want to go in the direction I told you guys about doing more like game show reality type TV kind of stuff. It could be simple ideas. It could be more complex ideas. It could be like long-term ideas, right? But I need a guy to help me come up with the vision for it and come up with things, because quite frankly, my team is having a hard time coming up with those ideas. And me, myself, I came up with a few and they're not the greatest. But if any of you guys are really good at coming up with creative ideas for shows that are crypto related, I would definitely like that help, or even pay you to help me for that with that. So yeah, reach out to me at cryptos, you know, George at cryptosaurus.com if you want to apply. Tim, that's not what I want. They have to be good ideas, okay? Not just like random ideas. Good ideas. You have to really think about. I'm telling you, there's an art form to this. It's not as easy as people think. Like coming up with these titles, you know, topics, and then the thumbnails that relate to the topics is much more difficult than people think, especially when you have to do it every single day or even twice a day, right? So coming up with creative ideas is also like that. You may think it's the easiest thing to do, but to actually come up with a good idea that can be applied and could generate a lot of views and, you know, retain interest from the people, it's harder than it seems. See, rating DCA portfolios, it would not be fun. No one will want to watch that. Hey, if you want to apply, just email me, George at cryptosaurus.com. Do you think ADA will flip? Do you think Link will flip ADA market capitulation? Capitalization, not capitulation. In the upcoming bull run. I actually think that could be a real possibility at this point. I actually think the way we're going, by the end of the year, Chainlink could be in the top 10 and can be right at where Cardano is. Actually, it could probably even surpass Cardano. I mean, Chainlink is just really hot. They have 80 plus projects working on it right now. Crypto hitless. You sound like you have some serious experience under you. Over 100 TV shows and an Emmy under your belt. I feel like you're too overqualified, man. I think you're. I don't know if I can afford what you're offering. What Emmy did you win? I'm just curious. That's a pretty big accomplishment. Pick a meme, drop 100 in a shitcoin, and see what happens. If it 10x, then they get to keep a profit. I mean, no, you can't offer people that. Like, if people can lose money, they don't want to join. You can only offer people the ability to win money or not win that money, but you can't make people lose money in a game show, because then they're not going to do it. Man, Fridays are always fun. Got 4,000 people just hanging out, just chatting, you know, not too serious. Monday through Thursday, you got people just like leaving right away. Fridays are fun, but I do have to go. Can Injective do a 20x? I think so. I think 10x is minimum. And then after that, could it do another, you know, 2x from there? Probably. I think anything. I mean, even Solana, I think, could do a 10x. I think Solana could end the year at 1,000, okay? And if Solana at 43 billion can do a 10x, then anyone else can do a 15, 20x. I mean, The possibility's there. It doesn't mean that they'll do it, but it could happen. Mike, that's not. All right. All right, guys. So to conclude, you know, market's coming up. It's good. But the bullishness is going to intensify, especially when Grayscale, they're selling stops. The ETFs will continue, and the institutions will continue, and money's going to flow out of gold and everything else. So stay strong, my friends. This could be a really good weekend. And well, I'll see you guys tomorrow. I stream tomorrow, 10:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. All right. So tune in tomorrow, and maybe I'll have something fun for you guys tomorrow. All right. Have a good one, Darwin. Thank you for that. Take care. Bye-bye.